Conversational Geordie. How to purchase a bag of potato crisps.
Can I take a few bags of Tudor out your wages?
Nothing but the best for you, right, lad?
Aye, great flavours, Tudor. Hey, Jack. Look at these now, get a canny bag of crisps.
Right, man. The Tudor or kind of mountain.
Tudor, a crisp that's really worth its salt.
Pity that licked out of order.
You seriously want me to attempt the Geordie accent?
I've heard it. I mean, you know, I don't need you to attempt it. Listener might.
Oi, my Geordie, like.
Right. Sorry. So as the only actual Geordie here, I'm going to be asserting myself this evening, recording. Paul to non-Geordie ears may sound like a Geordie, but he actually isn't. He is a Mackem. So, yeah.
Can you explain to non-Northerners what a Mackem is? Because they literally will not know.
No, I can't, for I am a Geordie. We do not explain.
I am a Mackem. I am from Sunderland.
That is adjacent, or in Geordie, adjacent to Geordie land, but it's not actually the same place.
I am neither a Geordie nor a Mackem. I know my place.
Barry Williams is a southern bastard.
Baz needs looking after. You know, there are southern bastards all over the world, and they must be pitied, cared for, given charity.
Yes, charity for poor southerners.
Send him your stotty cakes now.
Yeah, but only the small ones because they'll block up his digestion otherwise. Funnily enough, I was explaining stotties a couple of days ago to mine producer, who was down for a day of location hunting, and we went to Greg's and I explained stotties, and she took 2 stotties away to Scotland. So yeah, there
you go.
Yeah.
I'm like the reverse of the Emperor Hadrian, me.
Yeah. So we have branches of Greg's down here, but I don't think they sell stotties. I think it's
well, they don't. Having grown up with the Greg's from Newcastle Newcastle, then I was always offered a stottie. But whenever I encountered the Greg's in London, they were absolutely devoid of stotties. Everything else from up north, but knee stotties, man.
Knee stotties.
Totally stottyless.
Nah, nen leg. And I would stand there and I'd go, "Cool hard," etc. All that sort of thing at them. But then you get to throw me out.
If we're including any of this, we've now got to explain what a stotty is.
I never got a stotty in Brixton.
A stotty is a broad, flattish bread roll. Is that a good explanation? Yeah. Probably not. That's the best I can come up with.
I suppose. I mean, how to explain it to a southerner? You take a massive bun, maybe in dough form, or baked, and I mean, but a really massive bun, and then you roll it a bit more and make it a bit flatter,
bit flat.
I suppose that's a stotty, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you're not just explaining.
And I was explaining how you can slice your stotty down the middle and put your filling in, cheese, savoury, and bacon. It should be.
Yeah.
There could be egg involved, of course. Or, of course, if you're really, really hungry, then you get 2 stotties and put your filling in the middle of them, and then you don't need to eat for a week.
Yeah, you see, I mean, we've got people listening.
And that's the Geordie way.
We've got people listening to this in America and Australia. I mean, they're going to be completely lost. They're not going to have a chance.
That's their fault. I can't be responsible for them listening to this.
Greg's is a UK pastry shop.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, no, stop that. That's a completely different part of the country.
I don't know why I'm doing that. I don't know.
Lake. You lived in the Northeast. Oh my God.
I did.
You're not. Accents aren't your thing, are they?
No, totally not. No.
I mean,
not
not that I could
voluntarily,
but,
you know.
Yeah. I can't do my home accent properly, so hey. Listen, the way I see it, I go around saying, I don't go around saying, it would be mad to go around saying this, but I say, look, I am a Geordie. This is my accent. This, therefore, is a Geordie accent.
Do Geordies accept that?
Nah.
Did they call you a posh Geordie?
They call me worse than that. Welcome to Time Ram. I'd come and join you for it myself, but I haven't got the strength to lift the Toby. Or in English, welcome to Time Ram. I will join you for it myself, but I don't have the strength to lift the Toby. As in, I'm so tired from coal mining, I can't even lift my ale because I'm a northerner. So these are the two things that obsess me. Tonight, we're doing Time in the Rani. You know what?
We're
Me
not.
presenting was a bad idea without any rehearsal. I mean, you should have told me I was doing that because I don't know which doctor we're doing. It's McGann, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's Mark of the Rani.
It's Mark of the Rani.
Yeah, it is Mark of the Rani, not Time in the Rani. Yeah, which I'm going to go straight to a point.
Yeah.
I really like the Rani and Mark of the Rani. I can't be doing with the Rani and Time in the Rani.
No.
Because
I entirely agree.
Like the concept of the Rani is this really Spock. She's Spock. She's amoral Spock, amoral time lady Spock in a half shell. It's very clearly a distinction between her and the Master. The Master is evil. He enjoys doing evil. The Rani's there to just get her. Let's just go there. Get her white fluid out of various Geordie men. And that's what she's doing, Baz. That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing.
Yeah. Well, I don't disagree.
Good.
Yeah.
And go back to Miasmagoria, wherever it is.
She said it, but I couldn't quite understand it. Yeah.
But she needs brain fluid. Because she comes from a society who can build TARDISes. They can't build replicators.
Yeah.
She couldn't just kind of go, chemical formula. Thanks. We kind of see that in the Daleks. That's kind of how the food machine works. And that's David Whittaker science. If you're being out-scienced by David Whittaker, you're doing it wrong, Pip and Jane. With me tonight are the usual co-compadriones of Time Ram, Mr. Paul Ferry.
Talks funny, don't he?
And Mr. Barry Williams.
Don't
try to do a Geordie accent. No. Again, in Cambridge. Speak to us in standard.
I can't even do a Cambridge accent. Yeah, absolutely hope it.
But whatever voice croaks you can manage, just say hello to listen. He waved.
Everyone knows.
We have something doing. So anarchy complete. So Mark of the Rani.
Yeah.
What do you both think of Mark of the Rani? As it stands, the existing Omega version. How do you approach it? Because it seems to me it's got a bit of a bad rap in fandom. People kind of look down on it. I really quite like it. I think it's actually good.
I gotta be honest, I didn't really enjoy it.
Right.
You
don't enjoy the Visitation. You're a monster.
I can't put my finger on why. I didn't derive much entertainment.
It's one of those. It's one of those stories for you that we all have, where you can't say why, but it just doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I like it, but I think it could have done with an. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, please.
I was just saying I like it, but I think it could have done with an extra pass from the script editor, particularly in part 2, to say, that moving tree lose that.
Yeah,
And a couple of things like that. There's a couple of little
works.
bits that you just think, no.
I mean, the tree.
Yeah.
That's going to be better in our version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's face it. So, all right then. We are almost alone in Who fandom, apart from the New Adventures, BBC Books, and Big Finish, massively expanding the Eighth Doctor's canon. But we're expanding it in the truest way possible. We're going with the Weekly Bible. We're saying that the pilot succeeded, and we went off into a whole season or whatever of adventures.
Yeah.
That will be decided for us by the Ram. So this therefore is another one of those. This is going to be. Right. Americans doing Killingworth, shooting in Canada.
I don't think they'll be doing
Killingworth version.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, this is going to be some American or Canadian mine. Around the same period. I mean, but yeah.
I had two thoughts on it. I had two options, both of which have, good things going for them, and bad things going for them. One was to replace George Stephenson with Thomas Edison, because he seems an equivalent sort of figure in America.
Quite a bit later, though, isn't he?
Yeah, that was the thing. And my other thought, which it would be even later still, in fact, would be to set it during the building of the Transcontinental Railroad and lose the mining side of it and make it more about the building of the railroad. And what I liked about that was, if you look at the history of it, most of the labor building the railroad was Chinese immigrants, who were sort of very poorly paid and treated really badly. But they are the people that sort of ended up as the Chinese communities in California, and places like that. So Chang Li's relatives would have potentially have been building Transcontinental Railroad. So he could meet his great granddad or something.
Yeah,
that was where that idea came from, anyways.
Yeah,
there was mining in the States, but it's mostly over the other side, isn't it? It's mostly over the east.
Not just be about George fucking Stevenson, though.
I mean, if you're going to go for an American,
I don't like this south of the Tyne sudden kind of like, they're not going to do that. Well, why aren't they going to do that? Historical events, creation of the Industrial Revolution, for God's sake.
Can you imagine them in America in the 1990s trying to do Geordie accents? That's crazy talk.
Yes, I can, and it's called content.
I'm not content with this content.
Discontented murmur.
I don't understand why they did George Stephenson and said it at a time before he was creating his most famous creation, the rocket.
No, I don't understand that either. No,
they've got George Stephenson in it. They don't do anything interesting with him. They don't make him or compelling or in any way kind of explain why. In fairness,
they managed that with Nikola Tesla as well.
Yeah. I was thinking,
maybe Doctor Who just doesn't accommodate other geniuses very well.
Yes.
I was thinking, if you want a famous American figure in the railroad, there's someone like Cornelius Vanderbilt.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't want it. Not having it.
There's no pleasing you.
I said I'm fine with it. This is the only Doctor Who story set in Geordie land. You will not take it away, gentlemen.
It's set in Geordie land, but it wasn't filmed anywhere near there, and the local colour.
Gallifrey wasn't filmed on Gallifrey.
And I can't imagine this being made by an American production team. I can't imagine that.
Very well. On your own head.
I think if they're making it in America, they're going to make it about American history.
Not in Canada.
Oh, yeah. They're making it
financed by America.
In North America.
And the BBC. Remember, the BBC are a half partner in this. And they had veto in the telemovie.
Are they really going to veto
BBC,
that?
British Broadcasting Corporation. Not that they gave a fuck about the Northeast either, actually. So that's not going to work. Yeah. No, forget that.
I really think we need to have these Geordies in it. You know,
I'll take that attack back and try another one. I'll think. Give me time. I'll think of another.
It's an important part of our heritage to have these Geordies in it. It's a jolly bad show to not have them.
I'm being ganged up on, listener. Being abused because of where I'm from.
Well, if they're making this series in America, let's take advantage of the American sights and sounds and, you know, places.
We have to. We've done the Western. What else is there in America? Come on.
The opinions of Mr. Booth do not represent the opinions of the Time Ram podcast.
Now they begin to fear.
Of course, if they had gone down the route of having George Stephenson with the Rocket, it would have been in Teesside. Possibly County Durham at that time.
Well, no. The actual Rocket would have been, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Actually, I don't think Teesside existed then. I think it was all County Durham. This is very boring to our listeners.
Yeah, but where he lived and where he developed his stuff was Killingworth.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen his house, man. And his house is tiny. His door is tiny. He must have been very short.
Unlike the Rani's bathhouse, which is fucking enormous.
Massive.
Yeah.
They'll go through a little doorway in a little hut, and they're in this. That is a TARDIS, isn't it?
I was watching the behind-the-scenes documentary just before this to reacquaint myself about anything about time and the Mark of the Rani, and that's a converted set from Tenko, which is why it's so. Yeah.
Is it? Blimey.
Yes. There you go.
I wonder what that was at Tenko.
Bathhouse.
That's the exciting thing. There's nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, the story as it stands opens with some coal miners. It's really nicely shot location scene.
Isn't it lovely?
Yeah. Really nicely shot.
Well, was it Ironbridge, was it?
Shot in Ironbridge.
Good.
Yeah. Which is not northern at all. It's quite near Wales.
No, I'm offended by it, but never mind. We'll go on.
So they're all knackered. They're all covered in coal dust.
Mm-hmm.
They've got strength to lift a Toby.
Yeah.
And
can I ask, was Toby an actual expression for? I know you have Toby jokes, but I'd never heard that in anything else other than Mark of the Rani.
Well, I mean, I've heard it in Mark of the Rani, so I'm convinced that
Yeah.
Baz is an expert on these matters.
I have research from the script of the Mark of the Rani where it says strength to lift a Toby. Therefore, I believe that this was a phrase in common use at the time.
Because Pip and Jane are known for that, yeah.
Yes. Particularly in the Northeast, I believe.
They really, yeah. There are, in terms of Pip and Jane, I think this is Pip and Jane's best story. It's the one I like the best anyway. It's the one where their grandiloquent predilections come over less. But there were some lines I noticed where it's kind of like, no one talks like that, guys. No one. Harry doesn't talk like that.
No one who's been born talks like that. Yes,
not Harry. Yeah.
So these miners, they go into this old lady's bathhouse, where they get gassed, and then when they wake up again, they're really fucking aggressive. They're up for breaking stuff.
There's a nice deleted scene here. I noticed where after they've been gassed, the footage continues. It's only on VHS. It's got a time code, but the door opens, the big panel slides back, and there's these two guys in gas masks. And I thought, what you do if you're RTD, for example, or whatever, if you're doing it now, you have those two guys in gas masks stride forward rather than just stand there, and you have immediately little LEDs flashing on their masks, so you can go, these guys are out of time. Straight away, and there's your pre-credit done.
There's your pre-credit.
Yeah, do it now. Yeah. So I'd guess that's how we're going to go in the McGann era. You have the setup of wherever it is to be decided, because I ain't picking up fighting. And then you end it with the panel sliding back. These guys are gassed. The panel slides back, and these guys come out in obviously anachronistic gas masks.
Yeah.
Utahs.
I I like the bit where they kind of run outside and they kick the man's sort of hot potato stand over.
Yeah.
Go, you daft old beggar.
Daft old beggar. I was saying exactly that earlier. Yeah, that line stood out. And I thought to myself, yes, can confirm typical Geordie behaviour. Absolutely. Kick the boys to the floor, kick his granddad over, kick their stotties to the shit. Yeah.
I've seen it in the big market.
Precisely how things are done.
Yes. Out on the tune.
Yeah. Only daft old beggar would have a few kind of extra colourful words in there, probably.
It depends how daft he is.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might just shout, "Me stotties!" and fall over. This has been known to happen. In Newcastle. So, of course, none of that's going to be happening if it's not set there.
No. Is it set on the railroad, do you think? Are we building some other miners?
The railroad? No, it is not set on the railroad. It's set in fucking Killingworth, man. You know what? I'm just going to keep doing it in Killingworth, wherever you two decide it's going to be. I'm just going to set it in Killingworth because it's the one time Doctor Who came to the Northeast.
Well, in the Time Round universe, Doctor Who can come to the Northeast quite often. I mean, I think we've already set one in the Northeast, haven't we? Yes, we did. The Green Death.
Yeah, the Green Death. Yeah.
We've already had the Green Death.
Well, good. Excellent.
So this one is made
then we are improving.
It's more logical to have it set on the other side of the pot.
Oh, fuck your logic.
And just a warning to anybody who heard the Green Death podcast, there is a slag heap coming up.
Yeah, I know there's a slag heap. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and the Doctor says the TARDIS is on the slag heap. And
yes.
Yeah. But they wouldn't have a slag heap if they weren't mining coal in the area.
Is the slag heap critical to the story?
It's not really.
What about the Luddites?
Yeah, that's more difficult.
That's critical to the story, and that didn't happen there, did it? That happened in the northeast of England. Just capitulate.
No.
I see.
Except
we can do it in the northeast, but we're going to have even worse accents than the ones that...
It's not going to work. Don't believe in it.
Paul, I'm sensing you're wavering. Baz is clearly a holdout.
Maybe the northeast of America, which is actually where they did coal mining. To be honest. So...
And a moment ago, I called you friend, Paul. Okay,
so... we get a scene in the TARDIS here. We've got the original version.
Thank fuck. We can all agree where this happened.
Yeah, we're all fine. We're all safe. We're in the TARDIS.
We're in the TARDIS.
Until it gets pulled off.
Big McGann TARDIS.
Yeah. It gets pulled off course. There's another time machine somewhere pulling it off course. So they have to investigate, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're heading to the Great Exhibition, aren't they?
What?
Are they heading to the Great Exhibition? Aren't they doing that?
Yes.
Kew Gardens or something. Yeah,
Kew Gardens.
That's where they're going. Yeah, they're going to Kew Gardens. In the original, but Perry's got a very flouncy
dress is terrible.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's horrible.
What interview? Nicola Bryant's kind of going, yeah, that dress. I mean, that was the worst possible dress for my body shape.
Yeah.
Like it was second hand as well, wasn't it? Was it from the Aneden line or something? It was from storage. It was from storage. It wasn't the original.
Dress for her. Bloody hell! It's an issue.
Well, the wood in this version.
Yeah, she should be wearing her opera dress.
Yeah,
it's
fitting fine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why she has to be wearing a big.
Wonder the opera man.
I mean, it's just I mean, okay, fair enough. She probably couldn't wear her usual leotard, but yeah, there must have been a better solution.
Oh, the Doctor just carries on, doesn't it? Mind you, he always does. So,
the Doctor looks just as out of place, and his
Doctor looks insane. This is one of the ones where that costume really, really, really doesn't work for me because it kind of makes the Doctor stupid.
Yeah, it makes him look like an idiot.
It's pinning a target. I mean, Tom could have got away with it. The scarf would have been ridiculously out of place, but the jacket, the tweeds and things like that, a hat. It's outlandish, but it's not stuff that's completely out of place.
Yeah. Yeah,
It does. It is undermining.
yeah. I mean, at no point does anyone go, "What the fuck are you wearing, man?"
Yeah.
I think someone would go, "What? Are you
Indeed.
a clown?"
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. McGann, on the other hand, will actually get away with it. I mean, he would look a little bit foppish for that period, but
he'll just breeze in dressed as Wild Bill Hickok, and it will be good.
Yeah.
Railroad.
Or railway, depending on location.
Well, it's America, so it's railroad. Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't think it's not America.
So anyway,
it's on the border between Northumberland and California.
Oh yeah, that border. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, Killingworth is worth killing for.
That's where Wilco was.
I know. It is where Wilco was. I love Wilco.
Here we go. Yeah, all right, yeah.
He's prejudiced, Paul. You should join me. That foreigner's trying to eat your cookie.
Oh, you Northerners and your native racism.
I don't know what he's saying either, Paul. Just smile.
So they land on this slag heap, certainly in the original version. And they kind of walk past a field. It's got a scarecrow in it, and there's no birds in it, which I didn't really remark on at all, really. I'm just like, oh, fine. Yeah.
Why is he there? Why is he What? What?
I didn't even, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a scarecrow. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't crop up until ages later. But so we get some more scenes in the meantime. We got this bloke, he's got this car with machinery on it for George Stevenson, and he gets attacked by these slightly excited miners.
As after smashing machinery.
Machinery, yeah, always machinery.
Machinery.
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced, apparently.
Yeah. And one of these guys is Jack Ward. He gets left behind. Yeah. And so the Doctor and, well, in the new version, the Doctor, Grace, and Lee rock up.
Mm-hmm.
Find this guy with a big red mark on his neck.
Yeah.
Certainly the original version, not a very well applied mark. It's
a bit felt tip, isn't it? It's a bit someone just quick. Right. Yeah.
I don't believe in it as an operation scar. No, it's kind of.
No, I don't. Even with highly advanced Gallifreyan technology, it's with felt tip.
It's not
that's going to look a lot better.
Yeah.
It's probably going to pulsate though. It's probably going to have CG pulsation.
Mm-hmm. I can live with
Who
that.
wants CG pulsation? I don't.
I might find it preferable to what we get, but
Yeah.
So anyway, cut a long story short, which is what I'm trying to do with this one, is the Doctor's excited to meet George Stevenson, so they get a ride on this bloke's car.
Yeah.
Going to his workshop. So this is the bit that surprised me, because they're walking through the town, and then the Master pops up, and I'm like, what? Where did he? And then I realise he's just chucking some straw away. That's the only moment I went, bloody hell, he was the Scarecrow.
Yeah, why are you doing that?
What the fuck?
Right.
So the
only presence we have of the Master beforehand is that the Doctor says in a deleted scene that the TARDIS is being drawn off course.
Yeah.
No, it's actually in it, isn't it?
It's in it.
And all that sort of thing. But why is he a Scarecrow to do that?
Why is he he's standing around in his field all bloody day, waiting in case the Doctor turns up?
Rain coming up. No, you're not the clever one here, mate. You're a fool. You're a bloody fool, the Master. You're standing in a field covered in straw, getting wet, probably getting manured out.
The only hint is Anthony Ainley just chucks a little bit of straw on the floor, and from that you're left to infer.
No. You do see the Scarecrow's hand move.
Oh, okay.
In a previous shot.
Yeah. All right, I must have missed that.
But it's not followed up in any way. I remember watching that as a teenager and going, "Oh, that's creepy. That's going to be a thing we're going to come back to shortly."
Mm.
And then seeing the Master pulling a straw out and going, "Oh."
Yeah.
I didn't think more of it. I left it. All right. But that vague feeling of disappointment of, oh, well, what's the Scarecrow thing then? Expecting, I suppose, what we got in Family of Blood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would seem
but no, none of that. He's
It's
just
funny when
doing
you...
a scarecrow because he's the Mad Master.
Yes.
Well, it's
He's
when
mad.
he is like that's what I was going to say. Do you look at it now and they kind of present the Master in the modern series as being kind of crazy, and it's very in your face. But you kind of look back at Ainley and you think, no, he was mental. That was mental. Sitting in a field all day dressed as a scarecrow. That's mental.
The drums were going that day, I tell you. Yeah.
I mean, we were talking.
I know what I'll do. I need to influence a really sophisticated device like a TARDIS. I'll do it from my sophisticated. No, I won't. I'll go out, stand in the field, and get rained on.
Just in case the doctor turns up. Yeah.
Rather than just pressing a few buttons in his TARDIS and doing the thing. Delgado wouldn't do that. Delgado didn't go, time round, doc. Just a minute. And then, get some gear on and go out and stand in the field and go, right, now try it. You can't.
That's the amount of satisfaction you get from thinking, the doctor doesn't know I'm here.
I think he just everywhere they go. And just sometimes they don't stumble across his adventure and you go, oh, damn. Right, I'll follow them to the next place.
It's noble in this. I mean, we were talking in an earlier episode about how...
Sorry for interrupting completely. I just got the idea that you get a shot in the back of a pound of Necros or something. There's a snowman going, oh, fuck, you missed me. Apologies. That just came to me to make me giggle. All the way through that season, It's gone down the wrong manhole in Attack of the Cybermen. One of the torture corridors in Vengeance on Varos, it's got just a massive face of the Master going, they went that way. Shit.
When they're walking through Seville and the two doctors, he's behind one of the windows.
Yeah.
Looking through the slats, just going.
His face,
He set up an entire restaurant there, knowing what's going to come. They go to get Las Cadenas. Eventually precipitating episode 13 of Trial of a Time Lord, which is basically, will you look at me? I've just found your weird ass 13th incarnation. Look at the Master now.
I was just going to say, we were saying in a previous episode how Ainley's performance varies quite a lot depending on the quality of the series.
Absolutely.
And in this one, he's very much just phoning it in. He's kind of...
Yeah.
He wasn't that happy. I mean, he was professional with her, but, as Colin Baker said on the documentary, it's called Mark of the Rani, not Mark of the Master. And he wasn't that wild about that, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah. Am I right in thinking he wasn't in the original script? And then GNT said, can we put the Master in this?
Don't know.
I was
sure I've heard that somewhere.
Seems likely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, they gave him a really satisfactory send-off in
Planet Fire.
Planet Fire, where you think, oh, that's it, he's dead now. He's associated with the Fifth Doctor. That's fine.
Yeah.
Draw a line under it. And then a year later, no, bring him back.
There is zero reason for him to be in this. There are perfectly capable of sustaining the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the thoughts just occurred. We're getting Eric Roberts back, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mint.
Yes, for the McGann here, it's Eric Roberts. So
he's up there as a scarecrow going, he doesn't know I'm here.
For the occasion.
I showed him.
Oh, he'll be great in Newcastle where it's set.
Commercial time.
We are going on a journey, a very long journey, through the world of the Target novelizations in publication order. Every week we are looking at a new book, talking about Terrence Dicks, Malcolm Hulke, and all our Doctor Who novelization friends. Whatever you do, keep turning the pages. This is Jason Miller of the Doctor Who Literature Podcast, a member of the Direction Point Podcast Network, and you are listening to Woof Time Ram.
Are we presuming the Rani is still Kate O'Mara then?
I mean, I kind of don't see a reason why she wouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, she's
She's a
known
big enough name.
in the States, and
Yeah.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
From Dynasty.
Yeah.
Did either of you ever watch that?
Nope.
I mean, apart from, getting the gist of it from osmosis.
No, I don't think I ever watched Dallas.
I never watched Dallas, no.
No, same here.
I remember in school, huge thing about Who Shot JR.
JR, yeah.
It was massive everywhere.
Yeah.
But I never actually watched it.
Yeah. I think I did watch that episode where Who Shot JR was revealed. Not having watched the previous one where JR was shot. And just, because I was so caught up in it. And I think just phasing out halfway through and going back to whatever the hell else I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how I am with soaps. I've never yet sat through an entire episode of EastEnders, for instance. I've just, you get to maybe 10 minutes.
Why on earth would you?
I know, 10 minutes of your head of water.
Yeah, it's all just
what's going on?
Constant misery.
Up. I
have watched some 60s episodes of Coronation Street, but they seem like really good drama to me. They seem almost like kind of kitchen sink drama,
Yeah.
Which I like. Yeah. So it doesn't have the same sort of maybe it kind of created soap in England.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think possibly soap was a different thing then.
I keep thinking EastEnders would be very easy to write or write badly, because just anytime anybody comes into the room, they just go, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
So you start every scene, "What's going on?"
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't write a soap because the structure of it just does me heavy. Where it's just the structure is people coming into a room and talking to each other for a long time.
Yeah. Absolutely at each other as well.
Yeah. And the storyline really doesn't move very much while they just say, and another thing, and they just, which is how they have entire episodes of people just sort of in a room.
I loved you, go.
Yeah.
That's a frequent one.
People just stand about, they're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
They're not making a cup of tea or,
And then a random character will come in to be a threat and then go away again and never be heard of again. Because they needed a bit of...
Or somebody who's in for years will suddenly become a serial killer.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it's Russell T Davies, wasn't it? He realised that he could do more with the silence, and that's what they do,
Yeah.
Because most of it in real life is unspoken stuff. People don't spend 20 minutes going at each other. Oh, you really disrespected me there,
I may go back to the kind of the thing of kicking the young boy to the ground and pushing the stotties over. I don't know. I mean, I've seen people in the big market going at each other for 20 minutes solid. I've seen that happen. Yeah, it does happen. It happens up here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what they're doing. I mean,
no, they're not. I mean, I know. Yeah. They're filling time. They're putting them. They're making actors say words to fill episodes.
Yeah. The storyline is always utterly in your face beforehand, and then I don't like the structure of it, but there we go.
And I've noticed as well from the little bits that I've seen of soap operas recently, because my dad still watches some and that, and I've seen little bits. They've started putting incidental music in British soaps.
What?
Now, this won't mean anything to Americans who, there was always incidental music in American soaps, but British soaps were always like just silent, weren't they? Between the beginning and end title music, there was no music at all, and they've started putting it in.
The production was kept very much in the background as much as possible. It was as close as you get to the theatre.
Yeah.
The cameras it's almost grudging. The cameras have to be there to capture the actors saying things, but keep them quiet.
Yeah.
Don't make them do anything exciting, just make them show the actors.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress.
I think if I was writing a soap, I'd just have one character who randomly turns out to be an alien at some point, and everybody's too sort of polite to comment about it.
I'd have them waking up in the village. I'd just have the whole thing just being like something like the village. They come out of the psychosis. but where are we and who are we? And there's people there going, ah, ha, ha, ha. And Anthony Ainley pretending to be a cauliflower this week and going, why isn't that seeing me?
Yeah,
Do I have to dress as fucking celery?
You need some mad details in the background, you know.
Yeah.
Dogs walking humans or something, just in the background. Just, you know,
Yeah.
just to keep yourself sane, really.
Yes, we very much strayed from the plot.
Doctor Who, yeah. So yeah, we got as far as the Master turned up, which is not very far in. So this is
It's not far in, isn't it? Even by our standard, that's lax.
Because we didn't see him.
Oh, has he hypnotized us all? Mastery bastard. Mastery bastardry. Never mind.
So what we learned that in a few days' time, there's going to be a meeting of geniuses.
Yeah.
It's a very Pip-and-Jane thing. So I think Faraday's going to be there. Stevenson.
Faraday, eh? He's going to travel to the States, is he?
Faraday.
Right, carry on. Who are the others?
It was Faraday, wasn't it? It's not.
No, it's Faraday.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm just questioning him traveling to the States. But carry on. Who are the others? Bring.
You're still on that.
Davy's there, isn't he?
On that, I see.
Humphrey Davy. He's there, isn't he? He's getting a ticket over.
What do you want?
You're not taking the one Doctor Who story set in the Northeast away from the Northeast.
Drop it, honestly. So there's going to be a meeting of geniuses, and
I'd love to see the kind of Faraday and the Davy and Stevenson standing around. And he's going, "Oh, what did you invent? Oh, I invented a lamp. All right. What did you invent? Oh, I invented a lamp. All right. What did you invent? Oh, I invented a steam engine. So fuck your lamps."
That was something else about watching the original. Because when we get to this era, the memories are much fresher, obviously, than earlier days. I kind of expected to see these people.
Yes,
and I'm absolutely sure in an RTD version you would. You'd actually get that meeting coming together, and there's and the threat's really, really present.
Yeah,
it's like Mask of Mandragora, isn't it?
It's going to happen, but we never quite get that far. Again, the Master, a few days later, maybe, and not the Scarecrow.
Yeah,
just all of that. He's shit in it, to be honest. He really is. And then the Rani throws him into sharp relief.
Yes.
There's a lot of setup in episode 1 of this story, which goes absolutely nowhere. This is it. The Doctor is keen to get into this meeting, basically. So he ends up Perry gets him past the guard because he's such a knob end.
Mind you, he might be a knob end, but I think he's the only authentic Geordie in it. He does sound like a Geordie. Well, I don't know that actor, but he's got the accent down, which none of the others seem to.
Oh no, the Doctor's.
Well, it's not the extras, with the supporters.
The Doctors are knob end. Yeah.
It's mainly the rowdies. Let's face it, they're the ones that go and all that.
It's that young lad when there's the three of them.
He's
terrible.
Yeah,
he's amazing. His neck bulges right. He's really and again, when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, is that guy thinking back in the day? This is it. Mainstream BBC One. Everyone's going to see me. I'm going to act the fuck out of this.
Yeah. See my great.
And then, where is he now? Who knows? We should find him. And just turn up outside his door every morning and go at him until he finally gives in and goes, "I'm sorry." Crimes against Georgiedom.
So they're trying to get into this place. Basically, the Doctor and Perry. So of course, it's not the Doctor and Perry anymore. It's going to be the Doctor and Grace and Lee, presumably.
There's not going to be a lot for Lee to do, is there? Really?
There's not a lot for Lee to do. No.
There's never anything for Lee to do.
See, if it was on the railroad, he'd be going off and meeting his granddad.
All right, have your railroad.
or his great grandmother.
Bastards, the pair of you.
Yeah, he can be explaining everything that's going on. Yeah, no, that's quite good. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, his great grandmother, and he kind of finds her really foxy, but eventually realizes that it's his great grandmother.
Well, then disappears in the bushes with her, and then comes back later.
It's,
Great great grandfather.
What would Ulysses think of that?
He'd be delighted, I imagine.
He'd rip his shirt off in disgust.
So there's lots of stuff here. I mean, they went around for a bit, but basically the master riles up some of the local, the miners in the original version, some of the workers, and gets them to attack the Doctor. I mean, it's amazing.
I found that very Murdoch. I thought it was exactly the same kind of playbook that's used by Murdoch. You know, the new thing, the foreigners, the whatever, trying to steal from you, and the idiots buy it.
I thought you were talking about right. Okay, yeah. I love it when the plan comes together.
Right. Well, that's all. That's as far as it goes. I have nothing further to say about it.
Yes, the newspaper magnate.
Well, just the manipulative,
Fox News,
clever rich twat.
Yeah,
he's a lord, after all. And it's. I do like in this how the complete contempt that the Master and the Rani have for humans really brings out the Doctor's care for humans without him having to belabor it.
Yeah.
I love when the Master is kind of explaining to these miners about the TARDIS, and he wants the Doctor's machine that's controlling them. And he gets a little notebook out, and then the next time you see him, there's this perfect architectural drawing of a police box.
Yeah.
Who knew the Master was such a fantastic artist?
Yeah. Well, he is a genius.
Yes.
Well, wait till you hear his plan.
It would be really funny. Well, I say he's a genius, the Scarecrow. It would be really funny if he cut back and there was a really terrible child's drawing and he just kind of put that and went, look, it's a blue box. Just get the blue box, right? It's over there. That's where it is. That's the important thing. Blue box. That I should have just said that. I'm not thinking today. I was a Scarecrow. I'm not on form. The drums. I'm going home.
He's got some stick figures next to it with big smiles on, sort of.
Yeah. It's hefty. Arrow going down mine. It's all really bad, and they're all just staring at it, going, "What's this one?" Yeah, but that didn't happen, which is a shame.
No.
Yeah. Can you imagine John Simmons Master doing that? Eventually, just going, right, really angry, with the skull.
So anyway, he gets some miners to attack the Doctor. Yeah. He gets saved eventually by Lord Ravensworth, who I quite enjoy Lord Ravensworth's pure contempt for the Doctor.
I love him. He's great. Yeah.
He's brilliant. I mean, there's not going to be any lords in America, but just
true.
Ravensworth.
But I've been told to not say about that, so I'm not going to say anything.
Terence Alexander in the original, isn't it? From TV's Bergerac.
Yeah. From TV's everything.
Yeah.
Love him in general. Love him in this as well.
Yeah. He demands to know who they are. He accepts eventually they're not, in the original version, Luddites.
What are they in this version?
He can't explain the attacks. There's been attacks on the railroad recently.
Yeah.
So while this is going on, the Master decides to visit the bathhouse where the old lady obviously is the Rani in disguise.
Yeah,
because she's a Time Lord, therefore she's in disguise.
Because they're all completely batshit, clearly.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So we learn that she's an exiled Time Lord. She likes maggots. She likes chemicals, and she's basically
maybe she was trying to evade drunken Geordie groping.
Well, you're posing as to explain to us drunken Geordie groping.
I don't need to explain that. It's the same as drunken groping all over the world, just with the word Geordie in it as well. But yeah,
that's a new series on Channel 5. Drunken groping all over the world.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking exactly the same thing. Yeah, just put cameras in a pub.
Yeah.
Edit job.
Like Love Island, but with more groping.
Yeah, Grope Island.
If possible. Yeah. gropers in the north. Yeah.
Actually, I'd like to say that Kate O'Mara's performance as the sort of old woman, and generally, like we were saying, her performance as the Rani is really, really good.
She's great.
I don't know. I don't know why she goes into camp overload in time in the Rani, because she's really nice the way she
for a start.
Yeah,
they go with that big spangly costume, and when you're acting, you kind of the clothes you're in do lead to where you're going.
She has to spend half the story impersonating Mel, which is not a good look for anyone.
Yeah. Now, and it wouldn't have been so much better if she'd had to go from the Rani, the scientist Rani,
to
suddenly impersonating Mel. It's much more of a jump than The Rani's a bit wasted in time. The Rani.
Yeah.
I'll say it's big.
She's experimenting on the local workers. She's extracting chemicals from their brains to pacify her own colony. She's got another colony on
Miasmagoria?
It's something like that, isn't it?
It's something like that. I've never been quite sure.
Yeah.
I think it's something Miasmagoria, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's only Ainley says it, and you're kind of never sure whether he's actually giving an accurate reading of the line or not.
We are not here to interpret Pip and Jane.
Or just an approximate reading of the line.
I'm not trying to interpret Pip and Jane. No. Anyway, so they lose this chemical in their brains, which means they can't rest, they can't sleep, and they become really aggressive. Pretty much straight away. It's instant, they kind of straight away they're kind of annoyed.
That's serotonin. I don't know why they don't just name it as serotonin, because
is that what it is? Serotonin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Is serotonin really difficult to make and really rare?
Again, my point about the food machine: if you can build a dimensionally transcendental time machine, surely you've already mastered chemical synthesis. Replicators. Nanotechnology, things like that. The trouble is that really makes Doctor Who too easy, doesn't it? The whole series, I mean, all of it.
Yeah. So there's no reason for doing any of this.
If you even give the Doctor Star Trek level everyday technology, transporters, communicators, replicators, then most stories buggered.
They're a fan of replicators. They do too much, and it's like where they get all this stuff from. It's too easy.
Energy from warp core. That's where they get it from.
It kills stories.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And you'd end up buried in all this shit that you've made. You'd be like,
well, what you immediately run into is the K9 sonic screwdriver chameleon problem of, okay, you have to immediately limit that thing then. And you then every time spend time limiting. The brilliant thing about the concept of Doctor Who to begin with, and for a lot of its original run, is that the TARDIS didn't work properly. Because the TARDIS is an incredibly powerful thing conceptually. I remember a comic strip where, in revenge for the death of Ace, the Seventh Doctor materialized the TARDIS inside a life form, bursting it apart in the process. Well, you could do that all the time, couldn't you? You could do that, but obviously you can't. So, infinitely advanced technology is really, really annoying for writing. Mobile phones are annoying for writing. You could crime dramas, mobile phones, DNA. They're bastards. I'm digressing.
So the gist of it is the Master persuades the Rani that the Doctor is a threat to her plans and persuades her to help him destroy the Doctor, which I guess they're going to do. So meanwhile, back on the farm, we get introduced to Luke, who is Luke Ward, who's Jack Ward's son. And basically he sort of tells the Doctor that strange things are happening around at their bathhouse. So the Doctor goes out on the street, dirties himself up, rubs some dog shit on his face, and just follows his hunch. Goes to visit the bathhouse.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Because he won't be at all conspicuous in those bright yellow trousers.
Yeah.
There's not much changing so far, is there?
No.
We're not changing very much.
Well, we were trying to change it.
Yeah.
I've said fine. Fine. I'm not going to go along with it, but fine.
I mean, I suppose the main change would be, are we doing this in 2 episodes or one?
One.
Yeah.
Good.
What really tight one.
Really tight one. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's enough entertainment for 2 episodes, really. So yeah,
Nah.
you'd have to cut a lot of plot, but yeah, let's do that.
So when McGann goes in the bathhouse, is he getting his shirt off? Is it in his contract that he gets his shirt off at every episode?
I think you'll find he's contractually obliged. So yeah.
Yes.
And about 700 fangirls over the world instantly start drawing pictures of butterflies.
Just
with their shirts off.
Because they kept drawing pictures of McGann with butterflies with his shirt off.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, I say they kept drawing. I remember seeing one once. That's what I think of, therefore.
Right.
When I think of that random, sudden kind of female lust that happened towards the Doctor in the mid-90s, which we hadn't been used to.
No,
that was a completely new thing.
Yeah.
That was McGann.
Yeah.
I've never ever seen one picture of William Hartnell with his shirt off.
Let's rectify that. Let's put that right.
I bet there'll be some, though. I bet they're out there.
The William Hartnell.
Oh, hell yeah.
Brigade.
Oh, the
William Hartnell, butterflies, shirt off.
Yeah.
Pets,
just trying to whack the ball with his stick, going, go away!
The William Hartnell Hormone Replacement Brigade.
Oh, that William Hartnell.
Hartnell was only a few years older than we are now.
Yes, he was.
Terrifyingly. Or gratifyingly, one of the two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the Doctor goes, he visits the bathhouse, he immediately gets gassed. They gas him.
Yeah.
He wakes up in Rani's lab. I should have guessed. So yeah, they have a bit of a talk. She kind of mentions the Master and then leaves the Doctor there strapped to the gurney. So this is the point where in the original version Perry turns up to rescue him, I guess.
Yeah.
Grace turns up to rescue him.
Well, because it's leading up to the cliffhanger, we'll probably cut it completely. Oh, except that this is why Stevenson, isn't it?
Stevenson saves him, yeah. Basically, I mean,
Stevenson, yeah.
In the original version, he's strapped to this gurney. The Master turns up. He tells us his fantastic plan. He's going to get these early 19th century geniuses and use them to turn the Earth into a galactic power.
Which, and this is great because this is exactly what the Rani does in Time of the Rani.
It's the same plot.
Earth geniuses.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking, watching this, going, you rip-off bitch. I mean, seriously, that's actually the Master's plan. And the next time we see you, you're doing that. Exactly that.
It doesn't make any sense on either occasion.
No.
The rest of the galaxy going, oh, you've invented the bulb, have you? Oh, fantastic. Good on you.
I mean, the only, as far as I can gather, the only renegade Time Lord who has any kind of sensible plan is the monk.
Yeah.
Keeps it small, has the means to carry it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just quietly goes ahead and does it. Doesn't go and cackle at people.
Doesn't just
doesn't go and steal white fluid from people. just does his thing on his own with his TARDIS job. Plays his records.
Yeah.
Has a nice fry up in the morning.
Has a bit of a medal.
Eh?
Has a bit of a medal.
Has a bit of a medal.
Well, who doesn't? We all like a bit of a medal.
Yeah, especially the BBC in the 60s.
And let's face it, if the Doctor hadn't turned up right then, the monk would have just totally walked off with that, would totally have done it.
Yeah.
Completely have won. So, the monk, the greatest renegade Time Lord.
Fact.
Who knew?
I guess we're cutting the TARDIS getting thrown down the pit.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't go anywhere. Again, that's another thing. It gets thrown down the pit, and then at the end they go, "Oh, we've brought it up from the pit."
Yeah.
So this TARDIS, I've got a fact about this TARDIS. This is the first time for a long, long time in the series that we've seen the TARDIS represented in the miniature, and this is a really mysterious one. This and the one in Time Lash, which might be the same one, seem to be this kind of interim model box that we only may see twice and very, obscured. Yeah, this is the lost model TARDIS. We don't know.
That is a nice shot when it falls down.
It's a beautiful shot, isn't it? It's lovely.
Well done, yeah. I mean, all the film stuff in this looks great.
Oh, it does.
I don't know if they've still got the film brushes, but I mean,
No, they haven't.
Yeah, that's the same. Yeah.
But the thing is, by the 80s, at least it was being transferred nicely. It wasn't, horrible, grotty.
Yeah, it's nicely shot by Sarah Hellings.
It really is.
Yeah.
I think the direction's very nice. I think the design is very nice as well.
Yeah, it's just the plot and the characterization that lets it down, and the dialogue.
Yeah, the actors are all good. And
the accents.
And the accents.
And the accents, yeah.
And the rain, to be fair, the really torrential rain, which just dampens everything. It's kind of...
But they actually had to do a reshoot of a different forest later, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah.
Sounds like a complete nightmare.
Yeah. Yes, it's clearly a...
But that's filming, isn't it? I mean, that's certainly BBC filming.
I'm surprised Perry didn't lose both shoes, frankly. So, yeah, we're steering into episode 2 finally. We meet George Stevenson in the original version of Lee.
We do.
Happen.
There's always the caveat of in the original version, at least. I'll wait to see who's better.
Well, I don't really know enough about American railroad pioneers to kind of.
No.
I've had a quick Google, and there's someone like James Hill apparently built a lot of railways in the north.
You're really going to die on this hill, aren't you? See what I did there?
The hill you're buried under. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm fine. I'm in Killingworth with Stevenson. I'm good.
And a lot of these guys are kind of quite ruthless businessmen. They're not terribly likable. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I have not done the research this one, but yeah. There's some guy. Some bloke who helps them out. I mean, given that Stevenson could virtually...
There's someone there who helps them out in wherever they are.
Yeah. There's no effort made in this script to make Stevenson interesting or compelling.
No.
They didn't need to. He already was.
And Gordon Granger is a really...
odd choice.
Top-notch actor, though. And he's
true,
given very little to do.
Yeah.
But an odd choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the bright side,
also not a Geordie, doesn't even attempt.
On the bright side, at least it's not someone like Tim Healy or Jimmy Nail. Could have been. Well, I say could have been worse. That implies that Gordon Granger's bad. He isn't at all. He's very watchable. But again, that's the fault with the script. You've got someone like George Stevenson. Well, make him central then.
Yeah,
make him a pivotal thing. You don't actually need the Lord.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe as a background character, but make it.
Yeah,
again, that's very RTD thinking, isn't it?
It is. If it's doing a celebrity historical, it'd be about Stevenson with, with really focusing on that. And he doesn't drive the plot. There's nothing really to do with it.
Yeah.
It happens because of him or through him. I mean, there's this meeting of geniuses, which they kind of forget about. And then suddenly, in episode 2, we'll sort of turning into trees. And it goes in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we were saying, it's it's set before he creates his most famous invention, which is the rocket. So it's like having a story with Logie Baird in it, who hasn't yet invented the television.
Yeah,
obviously nowadays you would totally do it. It's going to be the inaugural trip of rocket.
Yeah,
yeah,
Which would also make sense for the Master. Not the Rani. The Rani doesn't give a shit. She's just there to get the white fluid.
The white fluid.
Serotonin. But the Master disrupting that, well, that might actually be genuinely disruptive to the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's not what he's there for, is it? No. And if you're doing that, don't drag the Doctor's TARDIS there.
Yeah.
The Doctor who beats you every single time.
Yeah.
Don't. The monk doesn't do that. The monk's better.
Yeah. The Master needs to work out what it is he wants,
The Master needs a slap. In this, I mean, it's just really, dude.
What is it you want?
Yeah. Formulate. Explain to us
what you're doing.
Yeah.
Come back to me, all right?
Get a flowchart, right? Just literally, even just a big pad. Just write something. Bullet points. The Master, right? Don't put the straw in your arms. He's putting the straw in his arms again. All right, let me go.
I was going to say his pad would just be all kind of random shit all over the place, wouldn't it? Scarecrow.
Yeah.
I just go and be a scarecrow for a bit. Fine, you know.
I know.
In the corner.
Find a robot that can perform any form. That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Dress as a Frenchman. Yeah.
Inhale some magic gas that makes you live forever. Brilliant. And of course, finally, become a cat. Which actually probably is the best plan he had to get into mastery of the world.
Well, I mean, that one actually kind of makes sense. You know, it's kind of more than this. You know, it's yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
So where were we? There's some stuff goes on with Luke.
Yeah.
He gets taken over, gets control with one of the. I know. Well, they put a maggot in. One of the Rani's got sort of juju maggots. They kind of.
So hang on. Yeah. As Paul pointed out before, we have a slag heap and we have maggots.
Slag heap and maggots.
The two links that no one's ever really made between this story and the other.
So this is a sequel.
That famous 1970s comedy duo.
In America.
Slag heap and maggots. Well, no Morecambe and Wise, were there?
I mean, that might have happened down south. We wouldn't have had that up here.
Tommy Slag heap and Bobby Maggots.
Fair enough. I want to play Bobby Maggots. That's a great character name.
And your host tonight, Bobby Maggots.
And when's Shatner going to turn up? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
who could he be?
Turn up every week. You know,
he could be the Scarecrow. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, that would be great if he was. It's like Andrew Taro, where he was there right at the start, but they walked straight past him.
Yeah.
And McGann spends all the time kind of going, my father must be around here somewhere.
We've already got Eric Roberts in this and the Rani. I mean, it's quite stuffed as it is, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
True. Eric Roberts and Kate O'Mara would be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't mean that ironically. I think they really work well together.
Yeah.
And if they played the characters as they play them in the existing stuff we've got.
Mm-hmm.
See, the one as it stands with her and Ainley, it comes across very authentically that she finds him a pain in the arse. And you're thinking, how much of that was actually Kate O'Mara finding Ainley a pain in the arse?
Yeah.
How much was it of him just standing around being a scarecrow with a fucking time? She's like, what's wrong with you?
The time vortex in his head, man. It's got the drums.
At a certain point, the master's going to have to stop blaming the drums and get on with his life.
Even Treemaster's life. I mean, it's really disrespectful to Treemaster because he's taken this guy's body and presumably the rest of his years, and he wasted it by being a fucking scarecrow. He's nasty as the master. He's not nice.
How's he got time?
He's not right. Not right.
We still didn't find a role for our regular, did we?
Helen Mirren, yeah.
There's not any other women in it, is there?
There's very well. There's the Rani.
Well, the Rani, but apart from the Rani, no. Well, Helen Mirren could be one of those, those Geordie housewives at the beginning in episode 1.
Oh yeah.
Kind of go, oh my Josh man, he's gone. He's not like this man.
With the band.
My Josh wouldn't do that. All that sort of bit, one of them.
Right. Okay. So we get to episode 2. We're in episode 2 now.
Yes.
Stuff happens.
Yep.
The Rani kind of is a bizarre little plot twist here, where the Rani leads the master away from the bathhouse and into the mine.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Doctor and Perry kind of go into the bathhouse and they find the Rani's TARDIS, which has been booby trapped.
Yeah.
Then they get in the TARDIS, and then the TARDIS leaves because she's taking it to where she is in the mine.
Yeah. This is very, very contrived, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's
I
a
can't
handwave
quite remember. I
explanation.
mean, I was watching it this afternoon, but I was watching it in the background when I was working. I can't quite remember why they go to the mine, why she leaves the master there.
The only explanation is that the TARDIS is powering the trap.
Right.
So that to get in the TARDIS, she has to walk half a mile underground and then call it to her. So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And she's a bit disappointed that the Doctor didn't get killed by the trap, which, given that she left two guys in the room with two dead guys with gas masks in the room,
it
would seem fairly easy to escape.
They're Renegade Time Lords are thick, aren't they?
This is not.
I mean, all of them. Really.
Yeah.
All of them. They're not clever.
This is not clear thinking on the Rani's part. So yeah, I mean, it feels some runtime, but I think it might just be cuttable.
Yeah.
So we kind of segue into a completely different plot where what they're doing now is the Rani is taking some mines, and the master is just following her around like a lost puppy.
Yeah. Don't think any like that.
No, I don't think he would have. No.
He might have gone off in a huff and watched some cricket aggressively.
So they leave these mines in the woods, basically in a place called Redfern Dell. Yeah. Which on the footage is clearly just a swamp. It's just been raining heavily. It's just
on every photo, every single photo, basically everyone's encumbered in either plastic or umbrellas.
Yeah.
I mean, rain doesn't often show off on film, but it clearly was very, very unpleasant.
Yeah. So they got some other plan going on. They got Luke kind of telling stories to everyone. He ends up leading Perry there.
Well, Perry being a botanist, one of the few times that this is referenced and used. Yeah. And it's a great shame because I wish that had been used more. It is that she can actually synthesize a drug that will help to get the people to sleep. All the people, all the men. It's all men who've had their serotonin nicked. You can get them to sleep with a tincture or something, which is nice.
Yeah.
And actually, is valid and gives her a reason for going to Redfern, which is clearly more than the Rani had for going to the fucking mine.
Yeah.
Valerian.
And the Doctor heads there as well. He's been given some old story that gets him going there as well. So they're hidden there separately. I suppose the problem we've got is there's nothing for Lee to do, is there? There's nothing for Lee. Unless he's off with his grandma.
No.
We could say that somewhere. So far, we've been doing this series in order. We could say that somewhere in the middle, Lee leaves. He leaves just in case we get Earth shock or something. So this is a post-Lee story.
This is a post-Lee. I mean, there really is no place for him. So it's a post-Lee story. Yeah.
And I mean, it's a good idea to get him sort of talking about his ancestors and getting that out of him. But not a lot at all.
Yeah.
The plot doesn't help. I mean, none of this makes any sense in connection with what we've been doing before. It's like
no.
Okay, we've run out of that stuff now. Let's just do something else. So I don't know.
This is towards the end of the 22 episode series. They're kind of really running out of ideas.
Maybe it's a filler one.
What was JMT's excuse? That's the question. Basically, the way it plays out is the Doctor kind of avoids going in the Dell because he's got a sixth sense of some kind. I don't know. He goes around and kind of knocks the Master's suspiciously phallic bulbous gun out of his hand, holds it on them.
This new compression eliminator is a bit of a problem, isn't it? I mean, I think there were two props in the 80s, and you've got one that's in Legopolis and Castrovalva, which does have the bulbous thing, but it's got 5 petals that looks better, and it's got bits out the side and it looks more like a device, rather than just being a dildo. And the thing is that, I mean, I've seen close-up pictures of the original prop that's used in this, and it's constructed to look like it's not made out of found objects that might end up being slightly. It's made of metal to look like that. That's what it's made to look like from scratch. Someone was having a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have said they spent the entire production giggling. I mean, the entire cast, apart from Ainley.
Yeah.
So,
You would.
Yeah.
But apparently Anthony Ainley would take it very seriously, which would make it worse.
Yes.
He just wouldn't see any humor in it. He'd just, hello, I'm being the master now. I'm doing my master things, and that would be very, very funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, what was I saying? So, the Doctor gets the drop on the Master and the Rani. Perry and Luke wander into the dell, and Luke gets turned into a tree.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
In a classic moment. Stops Perry from walking onto a mine.
I was going to say Luke and this is going to be some like kind of really young, attractive blonde guy, but he actually is.
Yes, he is.
He's actually exactly the kind of casting that you'd have in a Hollywood version of this, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's keep Gary Cady.
Gary Cady. Gary Cady. He's got quite a good career. Yeah.
It's a bit like those kind of like you sometimes get in sort of Mel Brooks films and things where you have one character in the village of really kind of gruff, ugly men who is like incredibly good looking, and all the women are kind of watching him as he goes past. And, you can tell they all have fantasies about him. That's a bit what it's like, isn't it?
Yeah. Apart from that, there aren't any women there to fantasize about him.
No.
Well, there's the two women, the one with the band and the other one.
True. Okay.
Both secretly fantasizing about
Helen.
Yeah.
Maybe the main effect.
Helen's job in this is to convey secretly middle-aged fancying of the young blonde guy. That's
she's got range. She can do it.
Yeah, within her range.
So the Doctor makes Rani lead Perry out of the minefield.
Again, you'd keep the minefield. The minefield's a visually dramatic thing. Yeah. It would be much more, I think, of a minefield thing, as in picking through, you see the Doctor and Grace picking through, and maybe Luke would be there. Actually, no, the Doctor isn't there, is he? Because the Doctor's going to come late. No, we could combine it.
Yeah.
The actual effect of Luke turning into a tree isn't that bad. It actually looks quite nice.
Yeah.
It's just the tree.
It's just
fake.
The branch.
Well, the tree looks
and the arm
when it moves. Yeah, that's the worst bit. That's what it really. If it was just static, you could probably got away with it.
Yeah.
But then it goes and manages somehow to grab her tit. I don't know how the person inside did that, because that must have been a great big foam tree construction thing. I don't think the arm would have even reached that far down. But
someone's
still
determined enough, he's gonna.
Again, I remember seeing that as a kid and kind of going, "Oh, it's groped her." And then the Doctor's all kind of going, "No, Luke's nice. He won't harm you." And I'm thinking, Luke's. Even as a tree, he's got wood.
So they lead Perry out, or I guess Grace or whoever, I don't know. And then they not gripping me. And then they get another bit where the Doctor kind of goes back in again because some Luddites carried him in there, and then he's stuck between two trees in a completely different location, a much nicer place.
I love the story Colin Baker tells about this. They got all that set up because obviously there'd have to be sort of scaffolding inside the tree props to hold Colin Baker, and the pole across the middle, all that sort of thing. And they got him tied up, and then lunch was called, and he said, "Oh, it's fine, I'll be all right. Just leave me here," thinking that they'd all go, "Oh, don't be ridiculous, Colin." But they did. And then the next thing happens is like two passerbys come by with their dog. And he's just chatting away to them, and they don't release them or anything like that. They just chat away. Lovely day, and so on. And they go on their way. It's kind of wow. England's fucked up.
It's very BBC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hand, Doc. Oh no, I'm fine. All right, good. See you.
Yeah, right. All right, see you. Back in a bit. It's like the stories you hear of the Dalek operators being left in, kind of going, "Come help, get us out. We want our lunch. We can't get out." But then Robert Jewell going, "No, I lift weights, me," and getting himself out of the Dalek.
Stuff happens. The Doctor comes back to Grace is in the mine with the Master and the Rani, and they kind of outwit her. And then the Doctor turns up, and then there's a bit of a fight, and then the roof falls in.
That bit where this is turning into more of a review of the story than the Time Ram version of it. But again, that bit where the Rani's faking a coughing fit, and so on. The master's going, I've seen that happen before. If I was Perry, I can stand there going, nah, well, let her choke her.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on then. I bet she doesn't.
Yeah.
I bet she doesn't, and I've got your death dildo, so, let's see.
You're kind of screaming at the screen, aren't you? God's sake.
You really are. You really are. Seriously, don't believe these two completely evil, duplicitous people.
Yeah.
Well, if it was Grace, she'd be kind of going,
it's like believing Boris Johnson. Sorry.
Yeah. I was going to say, if it was Grace, she'd be going, well, I've seen people in respiratory arrest, and it doesn't look like that.
She would, and she'd be great there.
I'm not falling for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Should doctor the fuck out of them. Holding a death
frankly, at this point, she should just say, you know what, you put me in a minefield and just shoot the pair of them. I mean, that's what any person would do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen.
American.
Yeah. I think a gun goes off when they're kind of something, but it brings the roof down.
Yeah.
And so
the master tries to shoot at Perry, and he manages to tissue compression eliminate a what are they called? The big lumps of wood that hold the roof up in a mine.
The sort of prop thing.
What are them? A prop? Yeah, a pit prop. Which makes sense. It's organic.
Yeah.
Tissue.
They go in the TARDIS, the Rani's TARDIS, which the Doctor sabotaged earlier.
I just never thought about the tissue compression eliminator.
Yeah.
So, say the master shrinks Anti-Vanessa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, tissue compression, that implies organic matter, right?
Yeah.
So what if she was wearing knickers or something that were completely just made of a plastic material, plastic fabric? Okay. Would that mean that the body would shrink down, but the knickers would go and still be out there? or whatever other, piece of clothing. A badge. You got a badge on, plastic and metal, would that be, well, it wouldn't grow. You'd just shrink and...
watch, end up sort of surrounded by it. Yeah.
Again, it's a silly weapon. The master's a silly person.
Yeah.
It's a horrible shape for aiming as well, isn't it? You've got to kind of hold it flat.
And then
you like that.
The end pops out.
Yeah.
You like that. I think you got to press the back to make the end pop out as well.
Yeah.
So on the whole,
How do you know what you're shooting?
I mean, they have one in Terror of the Autons, the first one. Delgado basically holds it like a cigar and just goes, and it's small. And that's brilliant. Because it's like a cigar.
Yeah.
Here's the bad guy coming in, kind of going, and you're dead. And you're in a lunch bag. Lunchbox rather. But it's not the best. Not the best.
No.
Funny enough, I thought it was great as a kid. I loved this commercial eliminator. Loved seeing it. But that was that whole kind of thing of, the master's back and he's brought his thing that you do when you're a teenage Doctor Who fan.
So they're accelerated into the far reaches of the universe with a growing T-Rex, which disappointingly doesn't grow much. He just lies on the floor.
It's a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of one model, and then you see their faces going, "Oh no, it's growing," and then it's another model. Neither of which move a great deal.
No,
but they're both still better than anything in Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
Yes.
Even the embryos just in their cylinders.
Yeah.
Again, a bonkers thing.
Yeah.
The cylinder pops over. If I had embryo T-Rexes in a time machine that could have time spillage that would cause them to grow, I'd secure them. I'd put seatbelts over them. I'd make sure the pillars weren't going to go and fall over. Because I can build time machines.
Desperately unsafe.
Yeah.
We missed out the best bit where the Rani kicks the master in the nuts.
True.
I missed that.
True. And Amy really milks that.
Yes.
He spends like an entire 30 seconds kind of hunched over going, in the accepted footballing manner.
Yeah, I'm sure in the novel it says something about she kind of knees him in the stomach, but you're thinking, no, she clearly knees him in the nuts.
He's down in the pose. He's down in the I'm being kicked in the nuts. But there is only one position. That is what he's doing.
Yeah.
And in interviews and conventions and all that, he always said, she kicked me in the nuts or words to that effect. He flim-flammed around it. Maybe kicks they litigate. But, she has no truck with it.
So how much of this are we keeping, really? I mean, how much of this plot are we keeping? Are we changing it all, maybe? Making it about George Stevenson equivalent. I don't know. It's kind of none of this really goes anywhere. It's a bit of running
I
around.
think Eric Roberts would get kicked in the nuts.
Make it all about getting people kicking kicks in the nuts. I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying Eric Roberts. I can't. Ah, my nuts. Or such.
I always come dressed. Ah, fuck.
Or is it like the fingernails? Just kind of peel them off and go.
Yeah. Flicks them.
You think long since rotted away. The mealy nut husks. Nusks.
Nusks of the Rani. There you go. Title for this episode.
Nusks of the Rani.
Oh, so does that mean whenever early on when she kills those two guys and the master kneels down and sees the big felt tip and goes to the market?
Yeah.
Is that going to be kind of like the Nusks of the Rani? Does she basically somehow destroy their nuts? I said she was extracting white fluid.
She's extracting the white fluid.
Well, yeah.
I said.
Yeah, until their nuts implode.
I found the level of this very early on, and clearly stayed there.
So imagine the machine that she's got for extracting that. It's kind of plugging them into it.
There's not much left, is there?
We're kind of near the end. Yeah, after that, we find that the doctor's pickpocketed the Rani's white fluid, so he's able to give it back to Ravensworth, and they get the.
They don't tell him how to administer it at all.
Exactly. Yes.
Unless they're injecting
it
directly into their brains. I'm not quite sure what it's going to do for them. Yeah, but
yeah.
Yeah.
So, he's just going to sit there looking at it forever, and there's all these mad people going, can't sleep. Like, it's a felt tip on their necks. Well, if we could, I don't know, maybe in 75 years' time.
Invent a way of dealing with that. Yeah. Yeah. George Stevenson calls himself a genius, but he don't know how to do it, does he? No.
Yeah. Thing is, you could clear that up with one line. You could have him just going, just one drop each, give them one drop each. And there you go. That's the explanation for it,
Or he just hands over a doobry, just kind of go, this is an infuser, like a hyperspray.
Yeah, if he could actually,
spray. Stick
around for a little bit and sort it out, himself.
More satisfyingly, you see the doctor do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
got the angle, got the stuff, creates the hyperspray. There you go. You're all back. And Helen Mirren goes, "Oh, me pet's back."
I mean, they got the Rani's lab there with all her futuristic equipment just left there in about 1830. And he says, forget about that. We're not interested. Off he goes.
Yeah, true.
And you know that he's Shatner's son because every time he administers an injection, he just rips his sleeve. Does the injection. Oh, me clothes, man.
That's all I've got, man.
That's your only jacket.
What you do that for?
Who do you think I am, Zoe Harriet?
And then we get the best line in the story where the doctor says, they ask the doctor what he does with TARDIS, and he says, argue mostly. Which
beautiful.
Be an ad lib, surely. But yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be McGann, though. It'd be, oh, wonderful things, butterflies.
And then Grace would kiss him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fireworks would go off.
Yeah.
Yes. And bats would fly out the roof of the car.
And Stevenson, the Lord, would kind of go, oh, and nod approvingly. And then suddenly, mid-kiss, McGann goes, wait, and runs forward and sees Ulysses. And Shatner kind of turns up for a frame going, that way. And just it's like into the labyrinth, I deny you the Nihilist. And McGann goes, yes, and runs back into the TARDIS, and it's just gone after that. And Grace goes, sorry, to Stevenson.
And off they go.
And Stevenson throws a knife at her because he's bored. She gets injured, but she's a doctor, so she can heal herself, so it's fine.
Are you done?
I am.
Okay. The end.
Explainment.
So yeah, okay. Was our version better? What was our version? Is my main question. I don't know. Who did we cast in it?
No one. Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren, yeah.
Hanson.
It's strange because
who isn't a regular did we cast in it?
Hanson.
No, Hanson weren't mentioned.
Hanson played Luke.
Both of them.
The Luke brothers, yeah.
The Luke brothers. Kind of see that. I mean, yeah, I can't imagine it. Well,
I guess
no, carry
I
on.
was going to say, when we picked this one, I kind of thought, that's that's got potential. I could see that. But when we've just gone through it there, it's just inexplicably it hasn't worked.
It's
really.
an extraordinarily Colin Baker story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
I
thought it would work, but it just hasn't.
It's quite complex. There's a lot of plot to it, but none of it really adds up to anything. That was my which is why I probably, if I was a script editor on it, I would chuck most of it out and do something else.
See, something like that potentially would have, like we were saying, made it more American, made it to do the railroad and all that, but it would have been a completely different story.
True.
Really.
This is it. I mean, this is one reason why I'm so resistant. I'm taking the piss about the whole Geordie bit, but also it's so tied up in that and Stevenson and those people at that time in that place that to take it away, you might as well just start again then. Something else in the Rani.
But it doesn't have anything to say about Stevenson all that time, all those people. It doesn't really.
It doesn't, but it doesn't have to, does it?
I prefer if it did.
Hey?
I prefer if it did. It's got.
I would prefer it if it did as well. And now we keep, as we went through, we all kept referring to the new series. Now it seems to translate fine to a new series story.
Yeah,
where you can get an RTD Moffat Chibnall type of way, where you have Stevenson as the main focal point, like Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
And when you approach it like that, it just falls into place, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it works for the Rani being there, who is still there. Stevenson's irrelevant. She's just there because that's where she landed or whatever. The Master is totally relevant. It's absolutely relevant to his plan. Destroy the Industrial Revolution, disrupt it at least. Again, which nothing's made of. So a new series version of it, I think, totally works. But this, no.
Yeah.
Unless you change those beats, unless you make it genuinely about Stevenson and make that really relevant. It's a nice backdrop. I think partially, like I said, I enjoyed it. I always enjoy it when I watch it. It's not one I usually go to watch, but whenever I watch it, I'm entertained by it. I'm not disappointed by it. I think a lot of that is down to Sarah Hellings. And the fact that it's very sumptuous. The fact that J&T got lucky and got 2 weeks of film camera crew filming, because another production had overbooked or something. And as I think Eric Saywood or Colin Baker put it, John got there first. So it's perhaps unusually sumptuous, particularly a season where we're also going to Spain for several days of filming, location filming. It's unusually sumptuous. The BBC always does period stuff well. The design's nice. The Rani's TARDIS isn't a letdown. It's not
it's brilliant.
It's not a table with a bit of chroma key behind it. It's a proper, it's a console. This is the first. I remember I was really impressed by her console because this was the first console we'd seen that wasn't just the Doctor's redressed.
Yeah, I remember.
This was a completely different design. Clearly, still the same thing. Clearly more advanced, and just beautiful. So I think the production values, unlike a lot of Doctor Who stories, I think the production values really push this one above the script.
Yeah, they don't save it for me. I wouldn't have chosen to watch it. I'm not sure I would choose to watch it again. I was kind of, I got through it. That's the best I could really say about it. I got to the end, but it wasn't. I didn't really enjoy it. So I think our version
I
would be an
mean,
improvement because
it
it's
wasn't
like
really
half
made for you. It wasn't really made for you, though. You know.
Oh, I see.
It's cultural appropriation for you to watch it. Are we running the figures?
Are you running the numbers?
I'm getting to the figures.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. Christopher Eccleston.
Ooh.
That's nice. That's never happened before.
What?
We've got Dr. 9 followed by Story 9.
Story 9.
Wow. Now that's a time now.
That is Planet of Giants.
Ooh.
Yeah.
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 Christopher and Planet of Giants.
Totally. I mean, imagine the production on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is a small, obviously a one-parter. Oh, I can totally see this. Totally see it. Yeah.
Okay. Planet of Giants.
I mean, actually, the script of Planet of the Giants, including the Giants stuff with Forrester and the N6 and so on, will fit 45 minutes very nicely.
I mean,
the production values will be great. And it's got an environmental message which will be very current. Not that 2005 is all that current, I realise, but the environmental message is. That was a chronic failure for us, and I'm terribly sorry, listener. But next time you can listen to us talking about Dr. 9 in Story 9, which is quite remarkable. I find it remarkable. Planet of Giants. Christopher Eccleston in Planet of Giants. So, chaps, till next time, Barry Williams.
Goodbye.
Paul Ferry.
Hurrah.
I've been Rupert Booth, and I really don't have the strength to lift the Toby anymore. I'd like to thank Ben Jones for our theme music. How are you, Ben? Ben, you should come on Time Ram. You should come on Time Ram. Is he a Who fan?
Yeah, not enormously.
You shouldn't come on Time Ram, but thanks for the music. You can find us on Twitter, where I'm at Rupert Booth. Baz is at Baz Time Ram, and Paul is at Paul Ferry 8. We're also on Patreon. Where there are some bits and bobs that if you haven't listened to, you really should. And so should I. And the rest of it. Good night.
A Doctor Who podcast network.